This video is sponsored by Manscaped. Before we begin, thank you to those in the previous Vancouver Canucks video who commented unicycle. If you want a chance to be featured next time, then hey, stick around to the end of this video for that opportunity with the comment section keyword. So I'm not making this video because it's going to happen. That is absolutely not the case here. Vancouver trading Pettersson for Eichel, that is not under any circumstance on the menu at the Realm of Possibility restaurant. That is not gonna happen here. But because Jack Eichel trade rumors have been circulating about and interest from teams and fans and media has sparked a whole bunch of discourse about Jack Eichel, I wanted to make a video talking about Elias Pettersson because we've had, firstly, Sportsnet 650, the guys over there talking about potential Eichel trades if it were to happen. Not saying it's going to happen, but if. We had Parker's Puck and Clay Emu talk about this on Canucks After Dark a few days ago. It's been a pretty big topic, and one that, honestly, I think the results and the overall fan reception may surprise you, because for some reason, out of all the things for both Buffalo Sabres fans and Canucks fans to agree on, this one is not really something that I would have expected. So, if you're new here, yes, hello, Jack Eichel, he's a very good hockey player, one of the best in the league at what he does, and he could be extraordinarily good on a better team. He is in a position where it looks to be very unlikely he continues his career with the Buffalo Sabres. And because he's a guy who is a center making $10 million a season until 2026 at 24, 25 years old, plus the comments that he made the other day, speculation has picked up as to whether or not the Buffalo Sabres would, or probably just when, the Buffalo Sabres would trade this guy. And because Vancouver is the hockey market like it is, we have had different people all over social media, Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, as well as on the actual radio discussing on a Vancouver Canucks trade. Obviously, as I said, it's not going to happen, but just the hypotheticals. Would it, could it, would you do that move? And because Jack Eichel is a number one center on a team that really isn't all that great, the big discussion comes with the Vancouver Canucks and people asking whether or not you would trade the Vancouver Canucks number one center, Elias Pettersson, for the Buffalo Sabres number one center, Jack Eichel. Now, before we get into this discussion, let's add another factor that devalues the fact that we're even having this conversation, and that's the fact that Renaud Lavoie came out with the Buffalo Sabres potential asking price for Jack Eichel, which was 4 first-round caliber assets, whether that's first-round picks, first-round prospects, or players on a hockey team that could be worth a first. So that is in itself an automatic disqualification for the idea that Elias Pettersson 1-for-1 with Jack Eichel would be considered. However, the caveat to that is Elias Pettersson is probably worth more than just one first-round guy either. Pettersson is 22 years old. He's got a contract extension period that he is going to have to deal with, but Elias Pettersson is one of those guys who, I mean, the way he has been hyped up, he's been hyped up by Swedish people ever since his draft plus 1 year to being the next best Swede since Peter Forsberg, and that is not something that you should be taking lightly. He's 22 years old, a pretty consistent point-per-game guy that was slowed down with injuries this year, and of course the infection scare that the Canucks had. But Elias Pettersson, as you can see throughout his entire career, has been a very solidified NHL point producer ever since stepping into the league. He's a guy who probably will continue down a point-per-game path if he continues being healthy and continues improving his game, which he has been every single year. I'd argue that Elias Pettersson does have that franchise potential that a Henrik Sedin or a Marcus Naslund has, and those kinds of guys don't cost 1 first-round pick. So right away, there's the contradiction to the entire, the Buffalo Sabres would only trade Jack Eichel for 4 first-round caliber assets out the window. Because Pettersson is not worth just 1 first-round caliber asset, in my opinion. He'd probably be worth 2 or 3, depending on the team. Now, before we get further into this discussion, big word from our sponsor here today. We have some big breaking news. This important PSA is brought to you by the folks over at Manscaped, because the best new trimmer is now on the market, the Lawnmower 4.0, which is available for purchase in the USA and Canada. The new trimmer was just released only moments ago, and we are one of the first to get our hands on it and share the news. What makes this trimmer different than all the others? A new multi-function on and off switch that has a travel lock for one, a 4000K LED spotlight, and full customization with additional guard length sizes 1 through 4. It's waterproof and it's got wireless charging. Hey, Father's Day is coming up. Maybe the Weed Whacker will fit your needs instead. The best nose and ear hair trimmer on the market. Maybe some cologne too, who knows? Get 20% off and free shipping with code LEGOROCKS99 at manscaped.com. Again, 20% off and free shipping with the code LEGOROCKS99. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. So with the 4 first-round caliber asset price out of the way, let's just go over this for argument's sake. Because when it comes to Pettersson for Eichel, you can make the debate as to which one you would rather have on your team today, which one you think is going to be the better player in the long run, and which one do you think is the better player now. Right now, Elias Pettersson, what's going against him is the fact that he does have a contract extension he has to do. He probably will get a bridge deal because the Vancouver Canucks are poor at managing their cap, and they can only afford a bridge deal. So immediately, short term, yes, he probably will be cheaper than Jack Eichel. Pettersson is not going to get $10 million on a short-term bridge deal today, like what Eichel is getting long-term with the Sabres right now. And if that takes Elias Pettersson to 23, 24, 25 years old, and he needs another contract by then, what's he going to get at that point in time? This entire flat cap is probably going to go away by then, so are you going to see Elias Pettersson at a point-per-game, over point-per-game pace as a number 1 center on a Canucks squad, getting upwards of $11, $12 million? For Jack Eichel, he's a guy who's making $10 million now, but that $10 million is going to last until 2026, so you're not going to have to get another extension done until the time he's 29 years old. And so, assuming that Elias Pettersson becomes better than what he already is, which is a point-per-game player, and assuming that Jack Eichel can consistently be a point-per-game plus player as well, it would make sense financially to say that Jack Eichel would be a better team asset long-term, because you would be locked into longer years with the amount of money that he has. You could also debate that Eichel today is a better player than Pettersson is today, but that entire argument probably should be supported by the idea that, yeah, both of these guys are young, Pettersson is younger, and Pettersson in the first few years of his NHL career has kind of mirrored Jack Eichel in a way, but of course Pettersson was 19 turning 20 when he went to the NHL for the first time. Eichel was 18 turning 19 flat. And so at this point, I wanted to turn your attention to the subreddits, because we actually had this question posed on both the Buffalo Sabres and the Canucks subreddit, and it's kind of funny, but both fan bases, both Sabres and Canucks fans, are actually on the same page, which I really didn't expect. Here's the post on our Sabres. Eichel for Pettersson 1 for 1, just to mix things up for both teams' thoughts. The first comment from Sabres fan, Seal Dodger 47, says, yes, I would do it. Pettersson is younger and he has more team control, but they don't have the cap space to take on Eichel and re-sign Hughes and do the entire thing. It would be crazy for Benning to pull the trigger. This is the first offer that I've seen that doesn't make me want to scoop my eyeballs out with a melon baller. I'd been thinking about that, but it probably wouldn't happen. Then you go over onto the Canucks subreddit and you say, well, I mean, yeah, the entire comment section is just saying no, 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 no. And the justifications very well make a lot of sense. Pettersson, he's already been acclimated into this community. He loves Vancouver. We love him. He loves the team, etc. All this stuff going on about Petey and the impact that he could potentially have long-term on this organization, compiled with the impact that he already has had in his few runs with the team. He's going to be that franchise number 1 defining center, arguably he already is, and taking all of that away and replacing it with another guy who is just brand new to the city and all that doesn't seem like a proper move that the Canucks should explore. However, there's another aspect to this idea that hasn't actually been discussed anywhere else aside from the Canucks section here that I wanted to bring up for you. The first comment says, Eichel just stated he wants to have neck surgery, and the Sabres vetoed it. He also just missed much of the year. Neck injuries, especially in a contact sport, are potentially career-changing. And with the crazy nature of Eichel and that potential surgery that he wants to have, it should be a serious, serious no-no if you're a Vancouver Canucks team looking at that and saying, okay, Pettersson, here you go. And so it was really interesting taking a look at all the sides here because it has been a really big topic of discussion amongst Vancouver fans and media, the radio especially, this entire Pettersson for Eichel thing. I just thought it would be really interesting to bring it up here on the channel. But if you're asking me personally for my own opinions, I'll put it this way. If I were building a team for this year and this year only, I'd probably choose Jack Eichel. But that's only for a team today, for one season, and that's it. Going into the long term, though, career-wise, age into consideration, I love both of these guys. Now, I am a bigger fan of Jack Eichel and his contract being locked up for 6 years, but if you're taking away the money side of things, both of these players could be game-changing franchise talents, so I'm probably indifferent on the subject. It's just the way Vancouver has already been so open and been so loving of Elias Pettersson here. I think it would make a lot more sense to just stay put. There isn't really a reason to go out there and make this kind of trade unless you're just going out there trying to start a conversation like what this video here is doing. So talk to me in the comments what you think about this Elias Pettersson, Jack Eichel thing. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you made it to the end, hey, first off, check out Manscaped, their Lawnmower 4.0, pretty good. But secondly, comment down in the comments section below, expansion bros, because yes, the Buffalo Sabres and the Canucks had both expanded into the NHL at the same time in 1970, and they're still both pretty bad right now in terms of their on-ice performance. So yeah, comment down in the comments to let me know if you made it to the end, also for a chance to be featured in the next Vancouver Canucks video, whenever that may be. I hope you enjoyed this with Josh Rolls, Lion 9, and bye.